Hey guys, welcome to a World of Warships video. Today I'm going to be discussing cruisers, the Soviet cruisers to be exact, the Soviet containers, the directives and everything in between, giving my thoughts and opinions on whether I think it's a good system, a bad system, how myself as a fairly new player to the game has found the missions and the way that they've done it compared to the European destroyers directives that they did, the early access to that, how it compares, what changes they've made, whether they're good or bad. I would love to hear your opinions, your thoughts and comments in the section down below, purely and simply because, again, I'm new, so as a veteran you might completely disagree with me, you might agree with me on some points, or you might be a new player yourself, and again I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So, first of all, the login rewards. I've actually quite enjoyed them. I think they've been well spaced out. They did give us a 4-day buffer, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to log in every day to get everything, which is nice. The doubloons that they gave us near the end, although it was only 50, that's still 50 doubloons that you can use for signals and stuff. I personally thought that was good. The 24 hours of Warships Premium is never a bad thing. And they do chuck a lot of Soviet containers at you. And that is going to be a theme throughout the entirety of this video of just how much they do actually throw at us. And how that's good and also kind of bad. But we'll get into that later. For the most part though, the login rewards, the daily shipments, the scaling of it, I think was done very well. I think it does make you feel rewarded and like you're taking part in the campaign, in the event, the directives, whatever. I think it's very good. So it's a thumbs up from me on that. Now then, as for the containers themselves, from what I got from the European destroyers directive in the event, the biggest qualm that people had was that you didn't get enough containers, and as a result you could only really get like the one or maybe possibly 2 ships. So I got to the Scan, so I got 3 of them. Yeah, I got the 5, the 6, and then I got to the 7. And you know, that's cool and all, but there was still more that you could get, and a lot of people only really got to tier 7, unfortunately. And that made it feel like from the get-go you couldn't get it all, and that was quite disheartening. I loved the way that the containers gave you a lot though. Like, you felt accomplished when you opened your containers, you got a lot of credits, it felt good. This time around though, it is a little bit different. They have gone the route of throwing containers at you, and I mean literally throwing them at you. You can get credits from just reading the news, you get 2 or 3 containers a day from logging in during this event. You have got combat missions which give you them, their Twitch drops give you a lot of containers as well, and then directives, which we'll be taking a look at in a minute, also give you a lot of containers. That's great. The problem is that the drop chance of the rewards you get in the containers are a little bit skew with. We are on week 2 of the directives now. I have opened every container I've been able to. I have got 1 personal assignment going on right now. And the biggest problem with them is that you've got 5, 10, 15, 25 tokens per thing, or you do have a chance of getting 300, and that's how they balanced it. The problem is that the 300 drop is incredibly rare, the 25 drop is incredibly rare, the 15 drop's not that rare, the 10 still pretty rare, and the 5 obviously the most common. As a result, after 2 weeks and opening every container that they've thrown at me, I still only have 240 tokens. I don't even have enough to get the first ship yet. It is a little disheartening. It feels like the containers have less value, and it kind of makes you feel, or it makes me feel personally, that the containers are kind of worthless. Like, it feeds into that gambling of, oh my god, but I could get this. And the reality is the chance of getting a 300 is so slim. I think it's something like a 4% chance. It's not ideal. To prove that, I'm going to open these 2 containers that I got for logging in. I'm fully expecting to get a 300 now since I'm recording, which would be amazing, but I'm probably going to get like a 5 or a 10. But we'll open the container and see. There you are. We got 10 from 2 containers. Oh no, from 1 container. And we got a 5. So we got 15 from that, from 2 containers. It feels very not good. Next, we're going to look at the directives themselves. I'm personally a fan of directives. I like that they're challenging. And they give you something to focus on. The problem is, again, that the rewards don't really justify it, in that the amount of containers they throw at you for these is incredible. When I say they literally throw containers at you, I'm not making it up. Like, you get a lot of containers for your rewards, right? So there's 1, 2, 3 containers there, and then for the first directive you get 6. So that's 9 containers. That's pretty good. That's a good amount of containers, right? But again, because you're only getting 5s and 10s all the time, you end up with not a huge amount total, and it leaves you feeling a bit like you wasted your time. Maybe if they'd thrown a couple of 40s or 50s in there, as opposed to the big 300, I think it would have scaled better. But the challenges themselves are pretty passive, as always, you know. I like the fact that they've got ands or ors. So the torpedo hits one was actually really easy for me because it does include carriers. I use my carrier. I enjoy using carrier. Very easy for me to get to torpedo hits. As a result, it didn't take me very long to get that one at all. The 12 spotted ribbons, again, if you use the carrier, you can do that in 2 missions. So the first week was incredibly easy, which took away a lot of the grind. The only ones I haven't done yet are the earn 5 achievements in 1 battle. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm nowhere near good enough for that. And obviously getting the Miyokan, because... yeah! And yes, I'm going to pronounce a lot of these ships wrong, don't at me. Because I don't have the ship, and I'm a dirty free-to-play player. Like, the only money I've put in this game so far has been to start my clan. And I enjoy playing free-to-play games as free-to-play because it allows you to see just how much value as a free-to-player you get. So yeah, the challenges for the Mikyoan, which do give very nice rewards, I must admit. Not going to be able to do them just yet because I still don't have enough for a ship. Week 2, I like the fact that it does get progressively more difficult. And again, they throw way more containers at you. But again, still, the rewards that you get from each container are not ideal. So you get 8, 9, 10, 11, I think it was 12, 13. So you get 13 containers from this one and 9 from the last one. So that's a total of 22 containers. Out of those 22 containers, I still don't have enough for my first ship. It doesn't feel great. The challenges themselves are good. I'm not sure how I feel about the receive all this damage. I'm not sure if that promoted a lot of suicide play just to smash out the challenge. Luckily for me, I don't have to try and suicide. I'm just bad. This one took a little bit of time. Again, because I'm bad. But on the whole, they're pretty well scaled. The challenges for rank 3 and rank 4, again, seem fairly good. They seem fairly scaled, and they do give you a lot of containers. I like the fact that the number 4 also gives you a camo. That feels quite nice. This one's just, again, more containers. The good thing is that you will get at least 1 ship from this, right? They're pretty much guaranteed that if you do everything, you will get 1 ship. But I feel that you should get more. The other problem I've got, which is what we're going to jump into next, is the bundle scaling. I'm not sure I'm okay with it. But we'll jump into that and I'll explain why. Okay, so looking at the bundles that they've got. The first one is obviously the roll of a dice. For 500 doubloons, you can get 5 Soviet tokens, 5 victory camo, India Delta, India Andy. Again, that's a lot of doubloons, for, especially if you're going for the tokens. It's not a huge amount. Obviously, you've got these which can be random bundles all the way, but for me personally, it's a lot of doubloons to spend, and the rewards don't seem that amazing. I haven't re-rolled them. Again, I don't have any doubloons, as you can clearly see. You might think it's different. You might think that the doubloons justify the cost. For me personally, it's a no-go. The other thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the fact the way they've split it up so that you have to get 3 bundles before you can get your tier 8 talent. The other thing that's kind of a kick in the teeth, and I know that it's early access, so essentially you're going to be able to get the talent later on, is the fact that they've put the camo for it before you get the ship. And it's the same with the Riga. I'm not sure I'm okay with that. I understand why they've done it, but I think the fact that you have to purchase the bundles in order is kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I would have preferred it if they'd have changed the token prices and made the token prices maybe a bit more expensive and allow you to buy what ship you want, as opposed to doing it in this must bundle in order. I know they did this the last time with the European destroyers, but they didn't have all these camos. They just had the straight up, you know, buy one ship, buy the next ship, buy the next ship, buy the next ship, and I preferred that a lot more. The camos are awesome, but I feel that for this sort of event, maybe just have the camos as straight up doubloons or resources, or just have them where you buy them after you buy the ships. If you disagree with me, feel free to say that you disagree with me down below, but personally, I'm not a fan. Yeah. And again, I'm at 255 coupons after 2.5 weeks, and the first one is 300. It's a grind. It is very much a grind. I have seen a few people with the McEwen already, so I'm assuming that they've either bought it outright with the Soviet pack, or they have just grinded and got really lucky with the containers. You can then buy the Soviet squadron, which is kind of cool with doubloons, so you can earn them in game if you save your doubloons, or if you just buy doubloons with a special offer, which is kind of cool. So you can get the ships, the camo, and everything else, or you can buy them individually, which is fair. I don't personally mind too much that, like, you know, they've got to make money. And then obviously you can spend your lower tokens on other bits and pieces. Generally what I do with these events is I will save as many of these as I can, the tokens, and get the ships first. And then after the event is finished, anything that's left over, I will spend on these. And it's kind of nice. The fact that you can get premium and credits, and you can get the camouflage and stuff, I appreciate it. It's nice to have these little options. The price seems a little bit expensive token-wise again, but I think that comes back to the fact that you don't get a lot of tokens in the actual containers yourself. So they do seem to be a little pricey, because you know, it can take you 2 containers for that. To get to 32, at worst you're looking at like 5 containers, 6 containers. It's, again, it just feels like it's a lot of grind for not a huge amount of reward, but that's just me. The next thing that they've done to allow us to get more tokens is combat missions. So we're going to jump into them, and I'll explain a little bit about the combat missions and the Twitch personal assignments. So, one thing I do like about this is, again, they have literally thrown nothing but containers at us the entire time, which is kind of awesome. It kind of alleviates the grind, and it makes you feel like there are many ways that you can earn containers if you've already done the directives and you don't want to wait 5 days or whatever for your next amount of containers. You can watch your Twitch account. The drops are permanent, they are random, and you can get things like this, which is, you know, the measure 7 times, cut once. You can get 2 containers and then a victory, and then you also get another 2 containers when you complete both, which is cool. It's mainly passive. This is just get 777 main battery hits, and then it's get 7 capture or assisted capture ribbons. They can take a little bit of a while, but I've got like nearly a month to do it, so, or just over half a month to do it. Any ship over tier 5, it's fairly easy to do. And then once you do get your first ship, once you get one of your Mikion, you can then start doing these. And this is a nice way of allowing you to earn extra tokens, and I appreciate that. So you've got 15 Soviet tokens over 7 times. You do the 7 matches. I'm assuming that they're the same thing over and over again. You've got 7 chances to win a battle in the Miko, and done. Allows you to play the ship, learn the ship, you get tokens, which means you can then work towards your next one. These are nice. I think I'd feel happier if they unlocked more challenges across the event to allow us to do this. Whether it be different objectives as well as the directives, but the fact they've added this in at all is really nice. They didn't have to. I think they did something very similar with the destroyers, but that was for the permanent camo for it, whereas this is for tokens, which allows you to unlock the permanent camo as well as different ships. So all in all, big thumbs up from me for this. It gives you a reason to play the ships as well as giving you the rewards. The missions and the personal assignments and things like that, I am 100% okay with. It gives the player a wider range of ways to earn the currency that you need to get the early access. So overall, my response to the event has been very mixed. I enjoy it. It gives me a lot to do. It's a lot of fun to play. I'm enjoying playing it. It doesn't feel like a grind when I'm actually playing the missions. I like the challenge. I like the goals that I've got to set in a certain game. I do wish that the containers were maybe scaled a bit differently. Like I say, take off the 300 and add in a couple of like lower variants like 50 and 100 that are a higher drop chance. Would allow the player to feel a bit more accomplished personally. It feels like they've taken the criticism from the first one and kind of reversed it, but then kept the grind sort of the same. But it is early access, so you know, they're going to come back in the game like they did with the destroyers, so you'll be able to earn them out anyway. But overall, fun event, thumbs up with me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of my critique, and if you agree or disagree with me. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I shall see you next time. Don't forget, catch me on Twitch, live 6 days a week, playing lots of World of Warships. Have a great day, guys. Ciao, ciao.